Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Today we're in Tirana, Albania.
We finally made it to Albania. It's been a while since we've been in the Balkans. Tirana is the largest city in Albania and also the capital. There are around 600,000 people living here, so it's a decent size. I read that Tirana is one of the sunniest and wettest places in Europe. So I really hope the sun is going to stay out today and that the rain is going to stay away. But let's start exploring and let's fill our bellies with some delicious Albanian food.
One of our absolute favorite things to do whenever we visit a new country is to explore the local food scene. So, since it's the morning, we decided to stop over at Cafe Botanica for some local Albanian breakfast. Now, if you don't know, Albania actually has a massive coffee culture. It's possible that it was left over from the Ottoman Empire because they were ruled by the Ottoman Empire for over 500 years. So I think the two most common coffees you find in Albania are Italian espresso and also Turkish coffee, or as they call it here, Balkan coffee. I decided to go with an espresso because this thing packs a punch and it is going to give me the fuel I need to start this day exploring Tirana. Energized and ready to go. It's really good. Dark, rich, creamy, perfect.
I decided to get a mountain tea. I don't know what that means. It looks like there's a bunch of flowers in there. It kind of smells like chamomile and peppermint and things like that. And you even got this like cake with it. I think it just came with like our espresso and our tea, which is really cool. Let me try it without sugar first.
It looks like they just picked a bunch of herbs from a field and threw it in the pot.
Kind of tastes like, I think, chamomile tea. Or dandelion. I don't know, it's delicious.
Our first item is a very traditional breakfast dish here in Albania, and it's called tarhana or tarhana. It actually had both spellings, so I'm not sure which one is correct. It's a type of soup that is made with cracked wheat and also, I guess, fermented sheep's milk or goat's milk. And I think they add chicken stock, olive oil, butter, all these things, and it looks like it's topped with croutons. This looks like a kind of posh version compared to the things that I've seen online. When I've seen the tarhana itself, it kind of looks like cornmeal. So it kind of looks like polenta or something like that. It's topped with this white cheese, which is very common here in the Balkans. So let's try it out. Very unusual for breakfast for us, but it looks delicious. It's meant to be pretty sour because it is partially fermented. Look at it. It smells really good. It really smells like chicken stock. That is delicious. It tastes like a big bowl of warm chicken gravy. That's what it tastes like to me. These croutons are nice and crispy, but also they get really soft because of this broth. That is really good. The texture is a little bit strange. It totally tastes, as I said, like gravy, but it's really unique. I also read that it's very good for your gut, so good way to start the day.
It has quite a strong smell. When he put the dish down, I immediately smelled the cheese. Like it smells kind of like almost goat cheese or something. I feel like I've never seen anyone try this in a YouTube video before. I don't know. That actually tastes so much better than I thought it would taste. It actually tastes a lot like goat's milk or something, I feel like. It's like, I wouldn't say chicken gravy. I barely even taste the chicken. I feel like to me it's like the sour milk slime, but not like in a bad way. With like some croutons and the cheese. Yeah, this is delicious. The other breakfast item that we're gonna try is called, I think, petulla or petulla, which is these Albanian donuts. They're almost like donut holes, but they're just like these donut balls, and they come with honey, sometimes powdered sugar and cheese. This kind of looks like feta cheese. I don't know if it's gonna be salty. Yeah, I'm excited. And you dunk them in some honey. They kind of taste like yogurty.
I think actually you're right. I think they actually are made with yogurt.
Because dipping it in the honey and eating it together, that was almost like eating like Greek yogurt with honey. That's so good. Let me see the cheese. Oh, it is feta, kind of. It's like salty. Maybe all together. That's delicious. Also, way better than I thought it would be, because I thought these donuts are probably just like basic fried dough. But they're so nice and chewy, pillowy, yogurty. Yeah, So good.
These are so pillowy and bouncy. Like, they're a lot more dense than I thought they were gonna be. I thought they were gonna be kind of light, like a langosto or something like that in Hungary, but they don't feel like that at all. You can also get these served with homemade jams and things like that. I saw somebody else have them in a video like that. Looked really good. But I love honey, so. Yeah, those are absolutely delicious. A lot more flavorful than I thought they would be. This is another really cool, unique breakfast. Between the two, I don't know which one I'd choose. I feel like if you come to Albania, just get them both because they're very unique and delicious.
We now came to the main square in Tirana, right in the city center. It's called the Skanderbeg Square. Apparently it's 40,000 square meters big. It's gigantic. I think it was constructed in 1968. And yeah, everyone's out and about. It's nice weather. It's a Saturday. And I even saw that they have a beer stand there, which is crazy. And then there's a Ferris wheel and a carousel. Pretty cool.
This square is actually named after an Albanian hero by the name of Gjelltore Dibra. I think he was an Albanian feudal lord and a military leader, and he helped defend against the Ottoman Empire in what is now Kosovo, Albania, and Macedonia. Something that's really cool about this square is that it's very centrally located. So it's pretty much near all of the main attractions of the city, including the Bank of Albania, the Opera House, the Clock Tower, and also the mosque, which we are going to check out later. So yeah, really cool spot in the city.
There's also the National History Museum right here, which is unfortunately covered in scaffolding right now and it's closed, but it has this really cool piece of artwork. I don't know what it represents. Unfortunately, we don't have the internet here, so our research is not as good as usual. Not that it's usually very good, but yeah, it looks really, really pretty, and it's kind of like your eyes are drawn to it when you're on this plaza.
If you are Albanian, please let us know what this represents, because as she said, we have no idea. We can't research it, so.
It's some type of battle.
Yeah, pretty cool.
We were walking around and we came across this bus, and it turns out it's actually a souvenir shop, and it has really cool traditional clothing inside, and we also get a magnet because we always collect magnets from all the countries we go to. We now made it to Tirana Castle. Apparently this castle dates back to the 1300s, so it's super old, but it's really interesting because you walk in and basically it's just a bunch of restaurants, cafes, and shops. I've never been in a castle like this before. It's really cool. It's almost just like a little village inside. If you know me, you know that I can't walk past any snacks or anything like that. And we were walking through the castle, and at one of the souvenir shops, they were selling these little candies, I guess. This is kind of like an Albanian Delight. It says Urime. I don't know if that is actually the name or if it's just maybe the brand or something, but it says Urime on it. It looks really good. It has all these walnuts inside. We also got a baklava from an Albanian company. It says baklava roll, handmade. But I'm gonna try this Albanian Delight. So walnutty, which is exactly like one of my favorite flavors. I always hate when other YouTubers say that they're not gonna give anything to their partner, but I wanna keep this for myself.
I had to wrestle it away from her, but here I am, gonna try it for myself. That's so walnutty.
So good.
Comparing it to Turkish Delight, but we have been to Turkey and I've never had a Turkish Delight like this. So it is an Albanian Delight. That is so nutty, so walnutty. This is amazing, actually.
It tastes like honey too.
Yeah, very unique and super, super tasty. Next up, we're gonna try some baklava. Now, we've had baklava pretty much all over the Balkans, in Turkey, and also in some places in the Middle East. We've had it all over. We love it. This looks very delicious. It's super syrupy. I don't think I've ever had a pre-packaged version before. We always have it at like cafes, so excited to try this. Delicious. Super sweet, super syrupy, but I definitely do prefer that Albanian Delight because that is amazing.
That is so yummy. And it does not taste like it came out of a package.
No.
I mean, it says handmade and it literally tastes like somebody made this today and then put it in the package. I'm sure they didn't make it today, but that's what it tastes like. It's yummy. It tastes fresh. If you gave me this in a cafe, I would believe it's fresh.
I can't say that I've ever been to a castle like this before that's basically a shopping mall or a shopping center with a bunch of different restaurants, a bunch of different souvenir shops. And on the outside of the castle, there's also just a strip full of shops, cafes, everything. It's a really cool spot and it is super busy, especially today because it is a Saturday.
We were walking around and we saw this art installation. It's kind of like this cage looking thing. I think it's called the Cloud, but we don't really know what it's called in Albanian. And we can't look it up because we don't have the internet, so let us know in the comments what this is called. But it's really cool, and I didn't know you can walk inside. You can even like climb it. Yeah, it's really cool. I've never seen anything like this before.
Yeah, it's made of all these white bars that are welded together, so from far away it does look like a fluffy cloud. Really, really cool. And I haven't really seen anything like this before pretty much anywhere, so.
Climbing this cloud is actually a little bit scary because some of these pieces are looking a bit shattered and it's all made out of glass. So if you're scared of falling through glass, then don't go up here.
If you are here in Tirana, one of the most important sites to visit is the Et'hem Bej Mosque, which is just outside of the Skanderbeg Square. It was built sometime between, I think, 1791 and 1794. And I think it was completed sometime between 1819 and 1821. It was actually closed down at some point during the communist era, and it didn't reopen until 1991. I think there was a group of something around the lines of 10,000 protesters that came to the mosque carrying flags, trying to get the mosque reopened, and I guess it worked. The police didn't even stop them. And now it is open, and it is one of the must-see attractions here in the city.
We actually just went inside and it's actually free, which is quite nice. They have 2 different slots for visitors and it's quite small inside. I think it's the smallest mosque we've ever been in. It's kind of orangey on the walls. It has this intricate art. I think it's supposed to be like waterfalls and trees and stuff like that. Pretty.
And I think something along the lines of 50 to 55% of the population of Albania is Muslim, although surprisingly, I think over 30% of the population doesn't identify with any religion at all. There's also like less than 10% Christians and less than 10% Jews here as well. But it's actually a constitutional right to express your religious freedom here in Albania. So I think this is a kind of a hodgepodge city of religions and everybody just lives together in harmony, which is really nice to see.
It's not quite time for dinner yet, but we wanted to have a little break for a snack. Just very close to the plaza is kind of like a street with a bunch of Byrek shops. I don't know if it's actually pronounced the same way here, because in Albanian you spell it with a Y. But we've had this in many other Balkan countries before. It's this kind of meat pie. You can also get it with cheese and spinach. We love it. So I had to have it. It's the first time I've had this in almost a year now. This is the meat version and it already looks really different. It has more like a meat paste. It's very like saucy looking. You know what this reminds me of? Bolognese sauce, but like without the like tomato.
That's what it looks like.
This is so yummy. And we also got some ayran with it. I think in some other countries here you usually get yogurt, normal yogurt. This one's more like salty yogurt. I love this. It goes so well together.
The salty, creamy ayran, the flaky, buttery Byrek, perfect combination.
We're now at the Pyramid of Tirana, which was built in 1988. Apparently it was technically a museum for one of the previous communist leaders in Albania, but then once communism collapsed, it became a conference center. And then I think during the Kosovo War, it was actually the base of NATO. And I think for a while they didn't really know what to do with this. They were going to demolish it, and they decided not to demolish it. I don't know what they're doing with it at the moment. I think there was talks about making it a youth center and something with robotics. I don't know. But it's really cool, and I'm kind of glad they didn't demolish it, because that would be sad. Like, it's kind of a really cool, weird structure. It's like really random. At the time when it was built, apparently it was the most expensive building that was ever constructed in Albania. So yeah, pretty random. I think we're gonna go up to the top maybe, if we have the strength.
There's a lot of steps, but I think we can make it.
Let's see. We made it. I had to sit down for like 5 minutes to recover, but it's super beautiful. You actually get a really nice view here, and there are all the mountains in the background.
You pretty much have like a 360-degree view of the city here, which is really, really cool. I counted the steps as we were going up, and I think it's something like 120 steps. It was actually not even that bad for me, but 100% worth it for these incredible views. It is now dinner time, so we came to a place called Gjelltore Dibra for some Albanian food, and we cannot wait. But I'm gonna start with the Tirana beer. It's a Pilsner. It's actually only 4%. I went to the grocery store the other day and I bought a bunch of different Albanian beers, but I have not tried this one yet. So, Gjua. I guess that's what cheers is in Albanian, the waiter told us, so Gjua. Delicious, crisp, clean, and it gets me extremely excited to devour this amazing Albanian feast.
And I got some Albanian wine, so Gjua. And it's so affordable when it comes to drinking in restaurants. The beer and the wine were only 150. And that's a pretty good size, so I'm happy.
So all of our food has finally arrived. We ordered an absolute feast because we just couldn't contain our excitement. The first dish we have is called Tevdeu. I think that's how you pronounce it. And what this is a clay pot dish. I'm not sure if it typically comes with beef liver, but this one seems to come with lamb. It also has cottage cheese, peppers, tomatoes, garlic, and a bunch of oil on top of it as well. And it is topped with shredded cheese. This looks absolutely delicious. It is boiling hot. Let's try it out. Let's get ourselves some meat, a little bit of everything. That is so good. Creamy, savory. The lamb is really tender. This is actually one of the national dishes of Albania. I can see why, because it is absolutely delicious.
That is so yummy. That is so cheesy. And the lamb is so soft. I wish there was a little bit more lamb in here, but I think the sauce is going to be really, really good with the bread and all the other food. Another thing we ordered is stuffed eggplants. I'm not quite sure what they're stuffed with. I don't know if this is meat, but I love eggplants. We had a stuffed pepper the other day and it was stuffed with cheese. That was divine. Let's see what this is going to be like. I got myself a bite. It was a little bit hard to cut. I don't know what it is. I think it might be a little bit meat, but also kind of like the inside of an eggplant mushed up with some meat or whatever, and then filled back into the eggplant. I don't know. I like it. Love eggplant.
Something interesting about Albania compared to other Balkan countries is that it's actually fairly vegetarian friendly. There is a lot of vegetarian friendly dishes, and as Ani said, stuffed peppers, stuffed eggplant, all these other things. I'm curious to see what this is stuffed with. I don't actually see any meat. Let's see. I don't taste any meat. I feel like this is stuffed with like peppers, the eggplant itself, spices, onion, garlic, but I don't taste any meat. So I think this is actually a vegetarian dish, if I'm not mistaken. That is really, really good. Speaking of vegetarian friendly, our next dish is called Vergees. I think that's how you pronounce it, or at least that's how the waiter said. It's kind of similar to the Tevdeu that we had before. It's mixed with cottage cheese, peppers, except this one has no meat.
It looks similar too.
Yeah, it looks very similar. I'm actually gonna try this with bread this time, so let's put it on here. Let's try it out. It is very similar in flavor. It has the same cheese, tomato, peppers, but it actually has a little bit of a kick to it, a little bit of spice. So that's interesting. Yeah, this is really, really tasty as well. All these dishes so far have been really good.
I think this is more cheesy. It has more like of a sour feta cheese taste to it, and it's more grainy than the other one. I really like this, and this just tastes more like peppers. Obviously, it has peppers in it. We actually bought a jar of this in the grocery store and ate it cold with our salads and stuff. I don't know if anyone would do that, but that was delicious too, and it had olives in it. I like that too. So I guess there's different versions, and it's really, really yummy.
Although Albania does have some vegetarian-friendly dishes, they also love their grilled meat. So, of course, we had to get some of that as well. We got some kofta, or I guess they're meatballs, but they're not really meatballs. They're more like a pounded beef patty. They look really good, though, and they smell delicious. We also ordered all of this food with a side salad because, of course, with all these heavy dishes, you need some fresh vegetables as well. You can taste the grill. Really meaty, really savory, and it just goes perfectly with all these dishes. All of these together just make for the perfect Albanian meal. So I'm super happy we got to try such a good selection of dishes.
The other day we went to a restaurant and we got the same thing, but they were a lot thicker. These ones are like super flat, so I don't know why they're called meatballs, but let's see.
The other ones were a lot more charred than these ones too.
Yeah, these are way different. Good though. They're kind of crispy on the edge, which I like, because you bite into them and then it's crispy. I really like it. And I just really love how here you get like small plates and you kind of share it with everyone, and you can just like try all these different things, and it's quite affordable. Yeah. And I think the food's quite different than some of the other Balkan countries that we've been to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good job, Albania.
As we mentioned before, we actually did go to another Albanian restaurant earlier. We tried some other Albanian dishes like jufka and a couple other things, but please let us know in the comments which Albanian dishes we should try next time we're here, because I feel like there's just so many good things to try.
So we decided to end a night with a drink. We were walking down the streets and we saw a bunch of different bars with like bright lights down one little street, and we came across this really weird random bar with all these paintings and memorabilia stuff, and it looks like vintage. I have no idea what it is. I haven't really seen everything yet, but it looks
like they have a stage inside too.
Yeah, there's a stage inside. I think there's records on the wall. Like, I don't know, this looks really cool. Totally a vibe. And I don't know, it's just really relaxing. There's nobody else here, which is kind of amazing.
We are now going to try some Raki. Now, basically every Balkan country seems to have their version of this. Even Hungary, where we lived for 3 years, they had Palinka. It's a fruit brandy. It is extremely strong. I think it can range anywhere from 40 to 50% and even higher. I guess this is kind of even like an Albanian moonshine. I think some bars make it themselves, so you don't even know how strong it's gonna be. And we have no idea how strong this one's gonna be because we just said, 2 Raki, please. Don't know how strong it is, don't even know what flavor it is. There's grapes in here, so maybe grape. And I think you're supposed to sip this and not shoot it, right? So, Julia, cheers, whatever it was. Definitely strong, typical Raki taste. I can feel it burning, but it's actually pretty smooth as well. Yeah, this is delicious. And great way to end our day here in Tirana.
We were actually planning on going to a different bar called Bunker 1944, I think. We were there too early, so they weren't open yet. They have like a lot of like communist memorabilia, and it's basically kind of like a bunker. So that would have been pretty cool. And the reason for that is actually because there are apparently over 750,000 bunkers in Albania. And there's even 2 museums in Tirana. They're called Bunkard 1 and Bunkard 2. They also show the communist history, the way people lived back then, the military and everything like that. We saw them from the outside, but we didn't really have the time to go to those museums. That's why we wanted to go to the bar, but it was closed. But now we found this one, which is maybe just as good or better. I think this is really cool. And I'm really excited that there's grapes in there. I've never gotten a drink like this with grapes. Oh! And I actually forgot to say the name of the bar. I just asked the bartender or the owner. He said it's called Tudor 59, and it's really cool. And they have bar kitties, so the best bartenders there. This is the end of our video. We had a great time in Tirana. We wish we had more time here, but we're just gonna have to come back in the future because we loved everything. We loved the food, we loved the people. It was amazing.
Although we're not actually visiting any other Albanian cities on this trip, we are visiting a couple more places in the Balkans, so stick around for that. But if you did like this video, give it a like, write us a comment, and by far the most important thing is to hit that subscribe button. That is it for now. See you all in the next one. Bye.